Hey guys, welcome back to another Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath video commentary. I'm Green Zero, and I know, I've been very quiet in the video department again. Yes, I've been, pretty busy with real life, and of course I'm playing a lot of Kane's Wrath online, but just not bringing a lot of footage to YouTube. I mean, I'm sure when I get around to editing out all the names, there's some more frontline to come, because there's always plenty of that on my hard drive, but you know how that goes. But this game here, I thought I'd jump in and cast this game because it looked like a lot of fun, and I think it's going to be a really good game. It's between a bunch of mid-range players, so actually we got RTS Champion, RTS Champion, who is an expert player here. He'll be teaming with Thanatos, which is Dimitri, because apparently Dimitri can have as many accounts as he wants, and that doesn't seem to bother Revora, even though they have rules which are supposed to prohibit that from happening, but I guess those rules only apply to the people if they want it to, so a few double standards there. And yes, now I'm ranting, but we have Consistently Bad, which is June Tiger, and Mass Cake, which I believe is Playfair. So Dimitri trying to stack his team again. Wow, we didn't see that coming. But nonetheless, this should be a good game. We're going to jump in because I think it might go for quite some time. On the left-hand side here, playing as the GDI faction, it is going to be Mass Cake, aka Playfair. So we're just going to call him Playfair, and that means Dune Puma is on here. Dune is going to be playing as Black Hand on the left-hand side of Forgotten Forest. Very popular Forgotten Forest. It's extremely popular, and we can see that the spikes will go to the front player here, so Playfair is going to be able to secure those. On the right-hand side here, we have playing as also a GDI faction. Actually, Zocom, it's going to be RTS Champion! That's right, RTS Champion with Thanatos, aka Dimitri, Demeet Dodge, Demeet Loser, Demeet Bitch. He's got a lot of names, none of them are good, but he's going to be playing as the Black Hand player over here. I remember him avoiding me like the plague the last few weeks, and then right out of the blue he's like, oh, come and team with me, because he needed to stack his team. And when I said, alright, fine, I'll play, he quickly decided, you know what, I'm going to go out. And so I'm like, why did you ask me in the first place? Dimitri causing problems, like he always does. But look at this, so both sides are going to just square off with these foxholes here. No one is going to get through. And we're going to have a look here. Yeah, it's GDI Vanilla for Playfair, and Zocom RTS Champion. So you'll have to see how that goes. Looks like RTS Champion is pushed back. Playfair does gain the far garrison, which is always nice. Gives you that extra bit of vision on this side of the field. Obviously it's just something small, but it's very nice. Dimitri coming in with a Raider bug. He doesn't want to get rushed by anything. He spots the GDI player here. Again, I believe June Tiger and Dimitri both selected Black Hand, whereas their allies both went for random. So the GDI factions in this game have been dealt via random. He's going to see that June Tiger does not have any type of attack coming. He's just going to eco build. Again, look at that. June Tiger also with the scout into the enemy base there. Takes a few shots from the rocket harvesters. Rocket harvesters, pretty hard to bike rush Zocom, just because the rocket harvesters can actually defend themselves. You don't have to build pit bulls if you've got the micro. So he's going to fall back with that Raider buggy. So all factions, all sides here are going to be just doing the eco game. It's probably been quite a while since I've casted a game where everyone decides to go eco. Normally someone's got some type of aggression on their mind, but in a map like this there's plenty of Tiberium, so all sides can definitely afford to do this type of build. They're all playing it safe. I mean, eco is commonly seen as the safe option because it doesn't really require any skill. You just have to have your build down pattern. You got to scout for aggression, which all sides are doing. We have the Raider buggy here from Dimitri just pulling over to the right hand side. Is that yellow? No, that's definitely yellow. I'm pretty sure that's not June Tiger's name. It's definitely yellow. So orange and yellow look pretty similar here. We'll have to see where June Tiger's Raider buggy has gone. It's over here, so yeah, definitely can tell the difference between these two factions here, yellow and orange. It's always close. June Tiger got first shots off and will cut that squad down there. Playfair now taking the blue Tiberium. It is the eco game here for you today. Actually harvests the far crystal. Normally you just want to fill up as soon as possible. Harvest this crystal over here. You want to spend as little time as possible at this blue Tiberium field. There's a second harvester coming. So this guy here, Pitbulls, are now trying to square off. Playfair trading out with a few of RTS Champion's Pitbulls, but he's going to make sure these harvesters are protected. He's going to take the entire blue Tiberium field with these two harvesters here. That's going to be massive, so obviously a bit of an investment early on, but getting these back, and they're both going to have enough crystal to fill their tanks up as well, leaving the entire field almost completely dry here. Meanwhile, I think these guys have caught on the fact here. RTS Champs, like Hannah saying, you've got some units over here. Just scouts crossing past up there, a few raider buggies, things like that going around. All sides have really good scouting, by the way. That's really unusual for all these mid players to have such good scouting on this map. Or just in general, but all sides have the foxholes, they've got the raider buggies going around, they can really see what each other's doing, and Playfair obviously using that to his advantage here to take all the blue Tiberium crystal. Not sure if he's going to be going back for more. There's not actually a lot there. He had a long way to drive actually to get back to his refineries, because June Tiger did take the close field, which normally if you're going for blue tib, you want this field so your harvesters don't have as far to travel. This blue harvester is going to go back to the blue tib field. I'll have to see if he's going to stop that. June Tiger, some bite buggy over here, is cleaning up the foxholes now, but he will run smack bang into RTS Champions Pitbull Force here. Pitbulls generally they simply are more durable than the bite buggy, and of course they will beat it number for number. The raider buggies can make a difference, of course, them being able to tank quite a lot of rocket power before going down, and it looks like RTS Champion is going to return the favour, blasting open these foxholes. I'm not sure who's going to be able to get the scouting squad, not entirely. Another force down here, June Tiger trying to find his way in, but Dimitri is going for the Black Hand infantry upgrades, and the bite buggy will be 100% useless against that. He's trying to cut through. Oh my god, he runs straight into some more imp spam. There's a bit of imp spam here. He's in flame range, which is a bit of a problem as well. That's going to cause most of these buggies to be destroyed. They're not actually doing a lot of work to these infantry squads. He does leave them behind, but unfortunately not going to be enough. He does run into the base. He will find a flame tank, which is actually destroying bikes. This is going pretty terrible for June Tiger. He will score a harvester, but he's losing almost all of his bikes. His buggies got torn to shreds. The infantry is still here. Buggy's just not powerful enough to deal with that much man spam. I mean, it wasn't even a lot of man spam. A few tanks here from RTS Champion will clean up as well. Battle markers on the top side. Looks like RTS Champion is now getting some Predator APC forces out to try to face off against Playfair, who has nothing but Predator tanks, so his force definitely going to have an advantage there. There's no APCs mixed in. He doesn't need them though, and he's going to have more armor than what's happening over here. Meanwhile, Dimitri is going to push forward. Playfair just abandoning these foxholes by the looks of things. But there's actually no blue Tiberium left, so unfortunately it's a bit late for Dimitri here. Playfair just taking everything away, and June Tiger now might want to get charged particle upgrade. He does already have it, so he's going to be able to hold against this man spam. Battle markers over here, they're standing on the Tiberium. That's never good. Battle marker over here, it's just a scouting squad. There is going to be attack over here. Looks like RTS Jam is moving. He's got a great concave here, but it looks like Playfair also has a lot of tanks here. It's going to be pretty tight. His MCV is taking quite a bit of damage here, so we'll have to see if he's going to be able to defend that. These Pitbulls aren't really going to be able to achieve too much against these Predator tanks. It's pretty intense here. I'm not sure if there's going to be a tib vein. There is going to be a tib vein right there on RTS Champion's army, and that just evaporated right there. So that was not good for them at all. And it looks like Playfair is going to be able to come through. Battle marker over here as well. Oh, it's going to be a click plant. Only gets one ref because June Tiger has spread himself pretty thin over there. So he's going to take minimal damage, whereas RTS Champion took critical damage. He's completely been pushed back from this field. He still has forces, but they are now in full retreat. Flame tanks here by Dimitri. Not sure what he plans to do with those. He's pulling his infantry forces back. He's been at the middle field for quite some time with this particular MCV, but he's not really done a lot with it. He does have dual MCV, and looks like Playfair comes in. Oh man, Dimitri, he's lost all of these harvesters here. There's more harvesters coming from the main, but now RTS Champion, there's just nothing to defend here. Looks like they pulled all their forces back, and another harvester will go down. APMO Watchtowers trying to defend this out here. The Pitbulls do get torn up a little bit, but the damage was done. Oh my god, Dimitri pulled his whole infantry army back. I mean, they're not actually going to be able to catch Pitbulls. I'm not sure if he's aware that infantry is slower than Pitbulls, so he should have left some behind, but this is turning out to be a pretty bit of a turkey shoot for him here. Now, battle markers over here. Looks like Railguns is done for Playfair. Playfair and June Tiger now looking in a commanding position. They've really pushed Dimitri and RTS Champion back. Dimitri hasn't lost a big engagement just yet. He's about to have a big engagement here. Flame tanks will come in, and that will be a big problem for these base defenses because it can destroy, or they can destroy these base defenses relatively quickly. The infantry are now backing this up as well. There's actually not a lot here. APMO towers are done for Playfair, but again, they're not able to get... Oh, there's actually a commando there. Oh my god, there's a heroic commando because he's Blackhand. Accidentally walks in range, and that was silly. He walked in range. He could have done a lot more damage. These flame tanks now starting to cause a bit of problems here. There's a battle marker up here as well. It looks like these forces just duking it out here, but this fight is where it's really happening right now. Flame tanks are in range, and all of a sudden, June Tiger's in a lot of trouble. He's going to lose his MCV. The foothold on this base is gone. It's gone. Meanwhile, there's another push over here. RTS Champion is getting crushed. He does have a few hammerheads. He does have a few. There's actually no double A here from Playfair, so sooner or later he's going to lose most of these forces, but not before he destroys everything in this base head here. Dimitri has pushed June Tiger off the middle field here. Playfair, though, does hold the top north field, and he is starting to refine off it. That's good for him. His army is also pushing through here. There's quite a number of hammerheads here now. Eventually they'll be able to destroy these predator tanks, but they're not actually focus firing, and they start to focus fire now, which, you know, you really need to focus fire from the start, because the sooner you can destroy the tanks, the lower the firepower, the less you're going to lose. Dimitri actually losing quite a lot of his infrastructure here. A lot of his power supply is now gone, and he's going to start to focus that mammoth tank down. Would have been quicker to focus down these almost dead predator tanks, which he is now focusing down. You always want to target the most heavily damaged ones first, because, you know, they're going to come into this base, and that's one less gun that they have to cause some damage, but he will nonetheless hold this off. So Dimitri and RTS Champion have been pushed into the bottom right hand side corner. Almost no Tiberium left, tiny bits here and there. That's all their base head is. Actually, no, Dimitri has re-expanded now. He's finally got this MCV doing something in the middle field to take this area, but we can see, of course, that all Firehawk's coming out as well from Playfair. He is actually going for a second airfield as well, maybe for the upgrades, because if you're going to build Firehawks, you kind of want Stratofighter. June Tiger also trying to get in on the action here, but look at this. This is interesting. There's actually a lot of Tiberium on these fields down here. Have they not transitioned harvesters, or have they just lost harvesters? I'm not 100% sure. They don't seem to have built that many. June Tiger's only got 4 harvesters on this field. I mean, he did get clicked, and that cost him a ref. I'm not sure if it costed him a harvester or what, but oh, look at this. It's actually putting Blackhand rocket squads into these hammerheads, and that's going to make them that's actually better than GDI rocket squads, of course, because they had the flame unit, and non-rocket squads just seem to be a bit more capable than that of their GDI counterpart. I'm not sure what the exact details are, but they just feel like they're a lot better. So both sides just consolidating. Dimitri now completely covering this middle field here. Of course, Playfair now is thoroughly harvesting the top field as well, and of course these guys, like I said, have a lot of Tiberium down here. Cooling and Icor C, these guys are now starting to deplete this area. Only a small bit of crystal left, but their mains are starting to regrow, so they're going to want to re-expand there. Things just settling down just a little bit. Beam cannons coming out here from Dimitri, so it looks like he's got some type of artillery push on his mind. Move forward with the Redeemer, use the beam cannons to focus down the structures. It's definitely it's very quick to do as well. Actually, these Firehawks now don't really want to get in range of those Tibcore defenses. They will come in. They will not get a kill. He does get a catalyst, doesn't get a single harvester, although, interesting enough, not a single... spoke too soon. He's going to lose one. Oh my god, that was devastating. He almost lost none, and then he lost 3. Thanks to the tower placement here, but there's actually mammoth tanks and APCs. This is a problem. This is a problem right now for these guys. So we actually have more hammerheads coming out. Beam cannons. RTS Champion has an MCV here, which means he does have the ability to build down here. No Marv coming out. Actually, there's a Marv coming out over here. Tungsten Shell is done. Obviously wary of the hammerheads. They're not going to enjoy Tungsten Shell because, of course, it's not a volley-fired weapon. It is a direct line-of-sight weapon. I mean, you can kite it, but essentially it's really hard area denial for the aircraft, because the second they come in range, they're taking critical damage already. And the Firehawks come in, and funnily enough, they only shoot at 1. They have hard points. They could have taken out 2 hammerheads, but instead only shooting at the 1. Battle marker down here. June Tiger has something on his mind here. Rage Gen goes off, does not lose the construction yard. That was tight though. Just manages to block it out with the Temple of Nod here. Beam cannon comes down. The hammerheads are here. They actually fire some rounds off at the beam cannons. The beam cannons, oh no, they broke line of sight with the barracks. That was pretty smart there by June Tiger, because it caused the beam cannons now to be completely disrupted. The beam cannons now starting to refocus their beam. They are getting their beam onto the Redeemer, doing a fair bit of damage. He moves outside of range though, and the fight has now moved to the left-hand side here. The push at the top has been somewhat stalled. Playfair, though, is pulling back. There is a very powerful Marv there. 3 Zone Raider squads in that, so he's going to want to pull back. But Juggernauts, of course, he does have the ability to build Juggernauts. RTS Champion does not have that ability, and that's going to be a major, major problem for him in this game. They're going to have to do something to get rid of those. Dimitri, of course, can build Spectre Artillery. Looks like June Tiger decided to fall back. I'm not sure if he lost his MCV. He may very well have. Maybe he sold it. I'm not 100% sure. I cannot locate it anywhere. One of those Juggernauts gets a little bit too close and it will be destroyed. Whoa, things are certainly hotting up. These guys actually re-expanding over here, so identifying, hang on a sec, there's a lot of Tiberium over here. They will get that. Rage Gen goes off again. Looks like now it's June Tiger's turn to get the infantry out, and he does use the blocking of the Temple of Nod. He will quickly destroy that. Shooting at the rear armor of the Redeemer is great because it does a ton of damage, especially for rocket squads here. Battle markers over there. The Juggernaut's not able to get really in range. He may want to move his construction yard forward. There's a lot of infrastructure here. Airfields, tier 4 war factories, tier 4 abilities. There's a lot slot here. They really can't afford to lose this base. Actually, is that a Tib Vane? It is a Tib Vane. Oh, right on those beam cannons as well. All those beam cannons are history. Actually, 2 of them survive somehow. I don't know how they survive, but apparently they do. Shockwave artillery comes down here. Playfair has now secured this Marv. He's locked it down. The railgun mammoth tanks are in range. There's juggernauts in range. He's going to try to back out of this situation. Oh, the mammoth tanks decide to abandon their attack here, and the infantry are going to come in. And will he actually get away? Oh, he's going to get away with the Marv, unfortunately. Shockwave artillery comes down here, and that's going to cause a lot of problems for these juggernauts. He's going to call in the orbital strike here, and we're going to have to see how this goes. He's going to need some anti-infantry in here to really clean up the Black Hand man spam. I think I can hear sniper teams. Yes, I can. They're right there under the juggernauts, and they are starting to work on these guys. Not something you usually see. We have another Tib Vane over here as well. Unfortunately, the juggernauts are simply... Oh, actually, 2 of them go down. They were heavily damaged, but nonetheless, they're recoverable. They are recoverable here, and Playfair all of a sudden, almost getting RTS Champions Marv, is forced into a defense, and he does actually manage to hold the defense. What's happening over here? Just a few units being sold. Oh, there's Spectre artillery coming in, and they can actually range that. Spectre artillery have ridiculous range, so Dimitri's identify it. So, alright, cool, we need artillery as well. We need artillery to break this base. Even killing that engineer over there, and he will actually reclaim the husk just before it gets destroyed. So getting that one is another husk there as well. Spectre artillery are starting to put the pain on the space. They can shoot from across the river. That's going to be really difficult to get rid of for these guys here. He's going to move his juggernauts into position to try to take them out. Juggernaut versus Spectre. Juggernaut essentially are, even though this sounds weird, they are more maneuverable, and they can get in range. The Spectres need to set up, and the Spectres can miss a lot more just because they fire at where their target is, and it takes a long time for their projectile to move through the air and to hit what they wanted to hit. We're now repairing them up here for RTS Champions, so lucky to get away with that. Recovering another husk here. Battle markers raging down here. Not 100% sure what it is. Looks like some decoys. No, they actually belong to June Tiger, so just selling up the base head here. Not a lot of Tiberium left. The right-hand side team, of course, does have pretty much all the Tiberium remaining is on their side of the map. They've got these 2 big fields here, and RTS Champion is going to town on it. 6 harvesters now, just ferrying that in. Dimitri doesn't have much left at his disposal. There's some fields down here. He's actually going back to those ones now. So the left-hand side team has harvested more Tiberium, but unfortunately, because they haven't been able to kill the other team, they're now at a deficit because they don't have enough Tiberium to reinforce. They're going to have to slow it down. They're going to have to be a lot more cost effective, and I think that's why the artillery is coming out. It's like, alright, cool, we'll bring out the artillery. It's very recyclable. Rage Gen goes off. Very good Rage Gen, by the way. That does a lot of damage. A lot of these base defenses actually turning around and destroying the infantry forces here. There's a Spectre there. You could easily snipe that down. That's an expensive unit for... Well, it's not hugely expensive, but it's a nice unit to get. You don't want to let Spectres build up. And he's going to move these forward. Oh, actually gets a shot off on it, almost destroying that Spectre artillery. Dimitri might want to get it out of there. More Spectre artillery shots coming in. It's almost dead. It will go down. I don't think it's going to get one more shot off. Yes, it doesn't get one more shot off. The MCV taking a fair bit of fire. Rage Gen comes down this time. Oh no, June Tiger 2. Oh yes, 2 with 1 shot. 2 with 1 shot. The Rage Gen unfortunately destroying his own units over there. Meanwhile, Playfair's just being pretty quiet. He's moving all of his Juggernaut army across. Actually, might be looking for an attack. But June Tiger now, his MCV is under siege. It is getting shelled from range. That is a lot of damage coming down. It's not going to last much longer. One more volley and it will be history. Here it goes. MCV is down. There is no build radius here. The War Factory will not grant him build radius, and now the Spectre Artillery are free to clean up the remainder of these base defenses. No doubt they will clean up that War Factory as well. He might want to move those Mantis away. They're not a unit you really want to just gift away. And they are starting to rain death now. They're actually starting to target the Redeemer, and they're missing. Oh, they actually land, I think, right in the middle of that infantry pod there. Rage Gen goes down. Rage Gen goes down, and that's... Oh, he actually power micros all of his base defenses. That's actually really good. Loses a Spectre, loses 2 Spectre Artillery, so the Rage Gen was worth it, and the power micro there will get that one back. We have Juggernauts now shelling the space. They have leveled... Oh, there's some slingshots here. He's going to want to be careful about that. They have leveled all the base on the north side here. And now they're raging. This area build radius is now falling here for Dimitri. He's got June Tiger on one side. June Tiger not looking very... He's actually got an MCV out. Is that his only War Factory? Wow, that was his only War Factory. So luckily that didn't get destroyed in the attack. He's able to get out that... Oh, Spectre Artillery now trying to trade with these Juggernauts. But again, they're just not as nimble. And the Juggernauts will destroy them. They don't even get a single Juggernaut there. Juggernauts versus Spectres. Yeah, the Spectres have greater range, of course. And they're cheaper. And they're stealth. But in a 1v1 fight, you'll find the Juggernauts just have that advantage here. June Tiger still trying to hold on over here. Flame tanks are coming out. We've got sneaky tactics here. Bikes with Tib Core coming out from Dimitri. They're trying to stab each other in the back now. It's still about these big, heavy forces, but they're now starting to think, all right, cool, we need to get behind the enemy and destroy them. A lot of blue Tiberium there, by the way. The team on the left-hand side definitely needs that. Tib core bikes coming in. There's no defenses here for these harvesters. They will all be destroyed. There's not exactly a lot of Tiberium here, but nonetheless, destroying all the harvesters just means at some point in time they're going to have to be rebuilt. And of course, they can't get any money if they have them. We have these slingshots here trying to push away that, what do you call it, that Firehawk. Firehawks here from Playfair coming back to base. Not sure what they have been bombing. Looks like their airfields are gone, actually. I'm not sure where their airfields are. They're somewhere. This Marv is moving down here. RTS Champion will be looking to cut off, but unfortunately the Juggernauts, there's 10 strong Juggernaut army now. It's just flanking this Marv, doing a lot of damage here. That's a lot of damage. We hear a shockwave artillery coming off. I'm not sure where it's going down. It goes down on Playfair's Marv here, and here comes the drop pod. He might just want to destroy the drop pod. Oh, he's not going to be able to destroy it, unfortunately. The Marv is just going to step away. Oh, no. Oh, RTS Champion gives it an order and it stops moving backwards. But nonetheless, oh, he's actually got, it's got non-tungsten shell slingshots here. Not going to be able to do a lot of damage. And look at that. All these guys here get killed. There's actually sniper teams down here killing the Zone Raider squads. A lot of Juggernauts go down, but still 5 of them manage to eke their way out of this area. And they will fall back, but the Marvs on both sides are now destroyed, so he's just going to have the Juggernauts by themselves. Flame Tank gets in. June Tiger's going to find the Space Command. That is a juicy target. He will be leveling that straight away. He's probably going to go for this refinery. It's the only refinery from... Oh, he's actually going to go for the other tier 4. Oh my god, that's a lot of XP. He's probably going to get a... He's got a Heroic Flame Tank in the base. That's not good. We check the other battle markers now. Infantry. We have June Tiger harassing over there. We have infantry standing on Tiberium, but the beacon is going like crazy. This Flame Tank now. Dimitri, he tries to shield this out. He puts a laser fence on it, but that is a Heroic Flame Tank. That is a... The hammerheads are coming, they are responding. Can he get this MCV beforehand? Look at the amount of damage it's taking. But I don't think he's quite going to get that. It's going to be tight. It's going to be so tight. Oh, he gets the clutch repair as well. The remaining flame may have very well killed that, but they do hold on. But that flame tank, extremely potent, did a lot of damage. Was definitely worth every cent he put into that. Meanwhile, June Tiger still trying to hold this somewhat of a measly base defense over here. I'm not sure what his plan is here. He's got his Redeemer, of course. It's Redeemer versus Redeemer. Juggernauts actually can fire from across the river. Dimitri needs to watch out. He's actually getting fired at. He's losing a lot of health. He doesn't seem to realize he's under attack. Maybe he thinks he's going to win this. He kills the Redeemer, and June Tiger will move his Redeemer away. Oh, the Spectre Artillery is doing so much damage. Oh my god, one more volley would have been see you later. But the Mantis there pushing back the Hammerheads as well. The War Factory does fall. We have these Firehawks coming in. They will destroy the remainder with the Mantis as well. And he's actually he's kind of blocking them out with those Juggernauts. But no, he will sneak away with just a tiny little slice of his health left. June Tiger able to save that. He's going to need to get that next to a War Factory pretty quick smart. That Mantis not looking too healthy either. But meanwhile, not a lot of... There's actually... If you look at the map, there's a lot of Tiberium on the map. These players are now having trouble trying to refine the Tiberium that's remaining. There's not a lot of harvesters. These guys are refining down here. No refining happening up here at all. A little bit over here. RTS Champion is still refining up here as well. He may have been harassed at some point in time. But yeah, there's enough Tiberium on the map to continue this type of fueled attack. We have the Marvs coming back out as well, by the way. So we have the Firehawks over here. Has a veteran one. He has fully upgraded Firehawks, which will be coming very handy. They're a very good recyclable unit in the sense that they can just keep doing damage over and over and over and over and over again, and you just never lose them if you're just careful with them. So they can be really cost effective. $1,500 for a Firehawk. If they end up doing, $10, $15, $20,000 damage over the course of the game, then it definitely works out quite nicely. And RTS Champion here again with the Marv. Is he going to sneak away? Actually, I don't think he lost his Marv before. Did he lose his Marv before? I think he might have got away. Oh, he's going to jazz hands right through the shockwave. Not quite though. It's really hard to dodge. I mean, it's almost impossible to dodge that. But this is the thing. He's used the shockwave. His units weren't actually in position. They're in position now, but do they have enough time to destroy the Marv? They are firing at it. They should get it. They will get it. So it's pretty tight. Firehawks bombing Pitbulls. That's not something you want to see, but the Pitbulls don't move out the way, so they will actually be destroyed. RTS Champion now looking pretty much out of it. I don't think he's got much more at his disposal. He's trying to rebuild his Mar, but he really has no units left at all. His harvesters stuck. His harvesters are somewhat stuck. He might want to get those back to work. They might unstuck themselves or unstick themselves. I'm not sure if that's a word. Redeemer is coming out from Dimitri. He has 1, 2. He's got 6 Spectre artillery. He's got some bikes rolling around, so he's going to be okay. But oh man, the Juggernauts now are moving in range, and the MCV will fall from RTS Champion. If this War Factory goes down, his build is gone. It's history. Oh, what happened there? What happened there? Oh, the Spectre Artillery actually managed to level some of these guys here, but unfortunately it's a bit late for him. He's lost his war factories. The Firehawks will come in to try to bomb these, and they will split their bombs actually getting one of these Spectre Artillery. But yeah, using Firehawks to destroy units, not really very effective. As you can see, obviously it takes a lot of firepower to kill those, and you know, there's battle markers now raging all over the place. Flame tanks are coming in over here, and there's Tibcore bikes as well. So Dimitri putting an attack down here, actually firing at harvesters. He's not micring, obviously. He should be destroying the buildings. Meanwhile, he's taking the blue Tiberium field. He looks like he's getting back in it. June Tiger has expanded over here, so he's actually getting down some refining capabilities. But there's a lot of Tiberium over here, and Dimitri's going to clear this base out. He's simply got too many flame tanks. He's got too many flame tanks. He's going to completely destroy all the ground radius over here. And he could actually just expand down here, and he's going to have so much Tiberium at his disposal. He's going to have secured the Tiberium. It's a question of whether or not he can actually harvest it, but unfortunately a lot of these flame tanks are now being somewhat destroyed. They will eventually be cleaned up. RTS Champion is out of the game. He has tapped out, so it's now a 2v1, but Dimitri's empire is vast. He has these two fields, he's got these two fields down here, he's got the center field. Look how much time, well, he's not quite got the center field, and now he could kind of take this field down here, but again, he hasn't actually got it just yet, so it's going to come down to these guys here. A lot of them haven't identified the fact that they need to get back to refining Tiberium, they need to get back to saturating these fields and cleaning this up right now. Dimitri, unfortunately, while he does have plenty of Tiberium in reserve at the back, these front fields, he's got no activity on them at all. He's bringing a Spectre Artillery forward. He has 5 of them. Can he clear out this base? That's the question. Oh, we've got a Tib Vane coming off here. Those 2 Spectre, 3 Spectre are dead. 4 Spectre, 5, 6 Spectre. All the Spectre now are dead. That was critical. A lot of these guys weren't even close to that field as well. Actually, a bit unlucky there for Dimitri. But now without the Spectre Artillery, he actually Tib Vane's back, but to be honest, that's not going to do a lot. The harvesters weren't even in the Tib field. He damaged these buildings, and he damaged the Redeemer and got a Raider buggy. That was not worth it. The Marva's coming in. Dimitri's not going to have time. He's not going to have time to establish himself. Unfortunately, battle markers down here as well. What's happening? The Firehawks now are starting to bomb his infrastructure, so stuff that's just going to have to be rebuilt. Dimitri needs time. He needs to stall these guys out. He needs to try to destroy at least one of these epic units, I think, or at least hold them here, this base. You've got to remember that operation center goes down. There is no build radius here, and that Marv is getting mighty close to it as well. I think he's going to recognize that she's shooting at the barracks first. And Dimitri now trying to engage the enemy Marv, but he does not have enough health. He needs to actually retreat, fall back. Battle markers over here. Bikes are moving around. He seems to be concentrating on these bike forces. That Sonic emitter kills almost all of them in one shot. He's going to have to be careful about that. But this base here is falling. Shockwave artillery goes down. Rage Gen goes off. And oh, he's standing right there on the edge of it. But he does manage to dodge all the shockwave. But it's not going to matter because he's not pulling his Redeemer back. I don't think he would get away anyway. He's going to try to fight to the death. It will fall. It will fall. Still a double A turret there. Can it actually claim a kill on the way out? No, it cannot, unfortunately. So splitting its fire pretty evenly amongst those Firehawks. And Dimitri again, he just needed a bit of time. If he pulled his Redeemer back and he had his Redeemer, he could probably hold this. You know, his infantry are quite strong. So he's actually building sniper teams manually now. So there you go. Shockwave, sorry, not Shockwave. The Orbital Strike comes down. It's just destroying all these barracks, all these portals here. And it's just preventing Dimitri from spamming out the units that he needs to spam out right now. If we have a look, he's got money. He's got a lot of money. He's got like 5 grand, but he doesn't have time. He couldn't slow them down. I mean, there was the opportunity to do it there, but June Tiger and Playfair, you got to give it to them. They really pushed hard. There's actually something happening up here. So a few pitbulls and infantry squads, but not really going to do enough. There's units defending there. Again, these fields, look how fully grown they are, man. These guys, unfortunately, unable to harvest those, and Dimitri will be defeated there. So that was an interesting game. Both sides had plenty of opportunity to cripple the other guys, but it was back and forth. One side would push forward and just about cripple them, and then their attack would get crippled and they'd have to fall back, and then the same would happen on the other side. But we had it all. We had front fights, we had armor fights, we had infantry fights, we had artillery fights, we had harassment in the back, flame tanks, all kind of things. So that was very action-packed. That was actually, I mean, there was almost no time aside from the start where they ecoed where it went quiet or anything. There was one point in the middle where it went quiet for like a minute or two, but the remainder of this, 27.5 minutes was pretty full on there. And at the end, you can see that June Tiger and what do you call it, Playfair, when RTS Champion left the game, they decided to push all in and push Dimitri. If they hadn't pushed Dimitri then, if they left another minute or two, Dimitri could have stabilized. He could have had a lot more money because he had a lot of Tiberium and refining under his control. He would have had a lot of money. He just needed a little bit of time to turn that money into units, but he was focusing on the the back-end harassment a little bit too much there. So Dimitri got $254,000. Of course, he was 2v1 at one point, so you can see when RTS Champion leaves, this is where Dimitri's economy, instead of maintaining this line, which would have been about out here, he's jumped up right up here because, of course, RTS Champion's economic resources go to him, and that allows him to harvest more. June Tiger, 188,000, although Playfair, 245,000, so getting almost as much as Dimitri there. Pretty cool kill-death ratio, but he is, of course, GDI faction, so they will have a high kill-death ratio. Oh, sorry, it will be a really good one. But if we have a look at this one here, we can see 432,000 to 434,000. Wow, it doesn't get much more even than that right there. So that was pretty tight in terms of the economy kill-death ratio in favor of Team 2 here. Team 2, I believe, was RTS Champion, and wait. We got 245, 345. Wow, I'm not good with the maths right now. I'm not good with the maths, but I'm assuming, yeah, this is going to be, actually, no, it would have been June Tiger and Playfair because of the 0.75 kill death ratio and 0.62 and 0.74. So yeah, 0.62 and 3.04. This would definitely be June Tiger and Playfair there. So pretty intense game. Stats either side of each other there. Units lost 600 to 793. I don't really go through these stats that often anymore, but it's quite interesting to see the vast differences or how tight things are. Just structures destroyed 84 to 96. So there you go. It's just tight. Units lost. It's pretty close as well. Units or structures created. This guy's created 260 structures in that game. I mean, nod-based defenses count as 4, so that's one of those things you gotta remember of. But essentially, yeah, that was a very good game. Definitely enjoyed that game. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll do my best to bring you some more commentaries as soon as possible. I'm Green Zero, and I'll catch you all in the next video.